It's Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time we have from the Star Wars, the Elite Series Disney Store exclusive Boba Fett figure. I'm going to be reviewing today the second release of this Boba Fett, which is the one that you see out of package. In package is the actual first release. I will talk about the differences, but just going over the in-package look, I'm a big fan of Elite Series, especially for their packaging. I think the packaging is just really nice. Great open window. I like the colors. The red inside looks nice, and I love that the edges are all outlined in a metallic red. You get some quick bios about the Elite Series as a line and about Boba Fett. So very cool. Alright, going over actual Boba Fett. So what makes the second version different from the first version? The first version was released when they were releasing a figure every 2 weeks that represents one of the 6 main Star Wars movies. And that was, this one back here. And then a few months later, quite a while later actually, it's been like 5 months I think, they did re-release all of those figures to just anybody. You can get them online. And then they... and with everybody else, they just plain old re-release them, but with Boba Fett here, they actually did re-release him with a slight difference being that he did include his cape. I'm not quite sure if he ever not uses his cape. I can't remember, but possibly in The Empire Strikes Back he doesn't have that little cape area, and maybe it's just a Return of the Jedi thing, but I don't think that's the case, so I'm not quite sure. But anyway, it is nice that they did release it with a bit difference, and it allows this Boba Fett to keep its worth and its rarity, because it still is different from this one. So very cool. Going over the actual figure, first of all, I'm a big Elite Series fan, as you've probably seen since I reviewed just about all the figures, and I usually have duplicates of all the figures, but I was really bummed out that I couldn't get 2 of that Boba Fett. I was able to get it actually going into the Disney Store for the raffle, but I wasn't able to purchase another one online before it sold out, because it sold out extremely fast, faster than any of the others. So I was so disappointed that I wasn't able to get a Boba Fett, and so to finally be able to get one to take out a package was truly special. Going over the actual sculpt, it's really nice. I really do like the sculpts for the Elite Series. Typically, they're quite good. Got a nice helmet there. The scrapes and the battle damage looks really nice. They used a pretty bright silver, which looks really good. And it really does look quite random. The chest, some of the scrapes are a little bit more bulky, which doesn't give it the best of a look, gives it more of a toy look. I like some of the thinner scrapes on the actual helmet there, because it looks more natural, but still does look quite nice. And as you go down, I do like just the suit itself. It's a white, but they've kind of washed in a bit of a black or gray to it, which gives it a nice worn and realistic feel, which is very nice. The gauntlets are kind of like a burgundy red. There's not any layering of paint there. It's just there's plain burgundy red, which is nice, but I would have liked to see maybe some scrapes or just a bit of like a silver wash in it, similar to what they did with the actual costume. The belt just has multiple patches. They're straight up brown, and his gun does look quite nice. The gun is not die casted, it's just plastic, but I really do like the way that they painted it. First of all, they sculpted it really nicely, but then the paint is excellent. It's like a copper with a silver washed in, which just looks awesome, and then the handle is a black with some silver highlights. The jetpack looks pretty nice. It's quite colorful. It's got blues, burgundies or browns, some kind of like mustard yellow, and then some silver for the main bit up top. Looking very cool. Not a whole lot going on. The scrapes are only on a few areas, but it does still look quite nice. And then the new edition of the cape looks really good. I really like the way that hangs, and it's very nice. And I'm glad they went with plastic. I'm so sick of them doing the cloth. Usually I like cloth, but I don't like the cloth when it comes to Boba's cape, because it doesn't hang naturally, and it gets in the way of where you plug in the jetpack for like the Black Series figure and things like that. So I've never been a fan of using the cloth. And then speaking of that, here we have the Black Series compared to the Elite Series. I think both of them are really nice. You have more articulation in the Black Series, of course, other than the hips. The hips are actually, you have more with the Elite Series one because they're not hindered like the Black Series. I'm not quite sure which one of these kind of like represents The Empire Strikes Back and which one represents Return of the Jedi. I know that there are some slight differences to his costume, but these figures look very different as far as like their gauntlets are obviously a completely different color. You don't have these large pouches right here, which is great because it doesn't hinder the articulation. And then the backpacks are completely different, as you can see. much more interesting over here, I think. But yeah, very nice. He does look really good with him. If you're just trying to get one Boba Fett, I would really just get whichever one fits in the type of collection you have. If you collect the Elite Series, get the Elite Series one. If you collect Black Series, get the Black Series one, obviously. I think that they're both nice. I personally probably just prefer the Elite Series because I enjoy the Elite Series with their, the fact that they're die cast. It's very cool, and it gives this line so much more, something unique, while the other lines are kind of typical Hasbro lines. So really do like the diecast, very heavy. Like all the diecast figures, just the hands, feet, and the head, I believe, that aren't diecast, but the rest of him is, which makes him quite heavy. Articulation is pretty good. With all Elite Series figures, their articulation isn't as good as Black Series, but it still is quite decent. You've got a ball jointed head, which looks really nice. They can go up and down a decent amount, and of course swivel fully. You've got ball hinge shoulders. Then you have a hinge at the elbow. This hose right here doesn't really hinder anything. Since the elbow doesn't swivel, it doesn't get in the way at all. You've got a swivel at the wrist, swivel at the waist. You've got ball jointed thighs, which can go up further than the actual Black Series because they're not hindered by those big pouches. You've got a hinge at the knee. The hinge doesn't move too much, though, at all, I have to say. And then hinge swivel ankles. So overall, articulation is decent. The biggest problem with the Elite Series articulation is that there's no bicep or elbow swivel, so you can't hold the gun with two hands, which is definitely a shame. And I kind of wish that they did him like the Flame Trooper, where they just sculpted his arm pointing this way, so he can just hinge up and down this way. That way he's kind of forced to hold the gun in two hands. I just think that he would have looked nice like that. However, he still does look quite nice, and I like that the other hand is kind of a relaxed palm, so he does look quite natural when he's standing, and overall is very nice. So yeah, overall, I'd say that this is a really nice Elite Series figure. If you don't like the Elite Series, this is certainly not going to change your mind, but if you do like the Elite Series, this is going to be an excellent addition. It's sold out at the moment, but you might be able to find it in stores. I haven't seen it in stores, though, so I think that he's a bit rarer than most. But overall, really do like this figure. Solid addition to the Elite Series collection, and yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know what you guys think of this figure.